0 kilobit al secondo. Rifai il test di trasmissione. Oh, sai cos'è che ho visto? Il figlio di buona donna di LSP.
Dici che è l'ESP32?
Però adesso almeno a 1,8 dovrebbe trasmettere. Rifai il test?
Sembra un po' meglio. Upload 1.
Rifarlo?
Minchia, fa proprio. No. Bassissimo.
Niente?
Aspetta, fammi togliere questo. Stiamo streamando forse?
Sì, quello sì. Si vede qualcosa, Miki?
Ok. Hello. Ciao. Stiamo streamando, eh.
Ok, lo so. Solo che volevo togliere tutte le...
Ok.
Ma c'è qualcuno?
Sì, sì, sono persone, hanno salutato.
Bene.
Magari iniziamo a far vedere qualcosa.
Sì, sì, sì.
Ok. Ok.
Quanto ti dà di streaming? 1.800.
Sì.
1.500, dai.
Sembrate confusi. You look confused. Yeah, we have some connection issues.
Some connection issue. Metti pure noi che salutiamo. Hello! Hello everybody.
So this is just a live that we are doing here at the moment after the first after the Maker Faire Rome, where we presented some updates of the Ant project. And yeah, thank you, Darko. Hello, you too. And yeah. Let's talk about this update briefly.
Yes.
So maybe I want
face,
also, yeah.
Okay,
From,
face.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you see it from the front, and the first
big news about the mechanical aspect of the Ant is the new Z motor
after a long time, we found an alternative to the difficult no, il motorino.
Yes.
To the
An alternative to the famous
infamous
yes LC1574, and this alternative is an MI8 with anti-backlash an anti-backlash.
Yes, with anti-backlash. This NEMA8 motor is available on Robodig, or that sell all the mechanical element, so the motor and the board.
The price is a little bit higher, but it's also more available, so it's a compromise. It's I think it's €20 more than the other model. And this is the first update. The second, that maybe is easier to see from the top, yeah, metti un po' più a destra. It's the drag chain that here Mattia is indicating. That is a way
a solution to resolve the messy cable
messy cable going around in the cable, like in the old solution that you all know. And there is a third update always from the mechanical aspect. Let's place the front. Yes.
Maybe you can see the bed, and this is a new version of the improved board locker. This is quite similar to the previous solution, but it's easier to build, and it is more flexible.
Sturdier.
Okay, yes.
It's sturdier.
Yes.
It offers a clamping force more uniform and more let's say strong to the board. And yes, this is a little update. And the fourth that we are still working on is the electronics, and it's a development yes, a development board. It's still in a beta testing phase, and it's a way to substitute the old electronic that most of you know, that is this stack of
nucleo boards with the CNC shield, Arduino CNC shield,
and drivers.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's an all integrated an all-in integrated board. So it's based on ESP32, and we are using the Gerbil SP32 development base. It's a nice community. We are collaborating with them, and we are the drivers. The motor drivers are Trinamics. As you can hear, the noise it's quite inexistent without the spindle. So this is the fourth and last update that we are working on. Is still something that we are still working on it. So it's really not something that we will release tomorrow. I think we need months to develop a stable board.
Release, yeah,
Yes.
stable release of the board.
Because we already found the issues. We are modifying things, and but something is moving.
Something is moving, yeah. And the ant can grow with your support. About the mechanical, maybe we can describe the mechanical upgrade in terms of pieces and feasibility. For example,
Rispondo a lui con right scrive.
for example, to install the new Z axis motor, it need to print or reprint 3 different pieces. The top of the carriage, this piece, and the head to allow the motor connection, and essentially the new cap, new protection cap for at the top of the head. So with the 3 pieces you can changing 3 pieces you can mount the new Z-axis solution. About the chain connection for the cable organization, for the chain connection is need to is need sì, lontano.
Avvicino.
Se riesco a...
Ok.
Is need to print 3 pieces, 3 or 4 pieces, maybe. One piece that allow the connection of the chain to the head of the machine. One pieces that are a cap that protects the cable when go out of the chain, and one structure
like a little tower that is keeping the
chain to the right level to be that is aligned with the head.
Yes. Ok, fammi mostrare di fronte, if you want to show it.
Cosa?
Da qua, il pezzo da dietro.
Mhm.
We'll try to show you.
No.
Non ci arrivo.
Not so easy.
It's not so easy. Ok.
Not so easy. Okay.
Maybe now. Okay,
I
you can see it.
Yes. This is the tower that connects the chain to the electronics. Now all the electronics is removed because we want to test new board to make
Yes.
some stress test, and
We also substituted the old electronics and compared the behavior with the new electronics. So it was for the sake of accessibility. We kept the electronic not mounted to the frame. Okay.
so
This was a brief metto noi.
sì.
This was a brief introduction and also a brief summary after the Maker Fair where we presented this. And if you have any question about this, if you want to talk about this, write comments and we will
Try to answer.
try to answer for what we can.
Um,
What else? Yes. About the old electronics, we will continue to support it,
yeah.
and we are planning to make another firmware release with some small improvement. We still need some tests for it, but we are working on it, and it's quite a nice thing. We will not leave it unattended.
So the machine is growing.
Yeah.
Extrusion.
There is a question why 10mm extrusion, and
We choose this kind of frame because we want to maintain the structure very compact, very light and with the 2020 with the
Okay.
1020 extrusion the machine non poteva essere più
could not be more compact, was not going to be as compact as this, and the compactness also ensures
the rigidity.
a good degree of rigidity. So it's something that is really functional to the machine.
We know that some solution implemented in our machine is quite expensive, but we prefer rich results in terms of the rigidity, stability, and repeatability of the work instead of the
sacrificing
price.
this aspect, functional aspect,
to make more cheaper or
cheaper,
Cheaper.
but yeah, not so much.
but not so much functional.
There is another question that nobody ever asked.
Mai proprio. No.
The question is for if this project will be available in kit form or just self-sourced, and the brief answer to that is no.
No, there is not a kit for this machine.
The long answer is that we tried, we kept trying, we are still trying, and it's quite a difficult task for us alone to do it, and we tried to do it, and in the end what we did now was to make all the pieces more available to try to solve the issue of the motor that was really something that affected the availability of the pieces. And for us it's something that we say it's like long-term support. With this we mean that it will be self-sourced, as you correctly said, and our effort is to be available to anybody who wants to build it. Of course, we many times we stay making things, so we are slow to answer. Sometimes we don't see the notification or are working on our normal jobs or other things, so we are not fast enough to answer. But we find each other in every couple of weeks, and we try to answer at the best that we can to your question or doubts or problems, and
the Reddit channel is very helpful in this way for us. it's a good chance to
Confront each other.
confront each other and to talk about the project and the modification and the new feature and so on.
I would underline that is still something that we are testing. It's quite all quite new. We did posso mostrare questo? We did a bit of preliminary test on various motors with the structure that Mattia created, and it was to test the torque of the various motors that we bought, and we like that motor, but we still have to test it with a bit of load and all the stress that the milling and the cutting
we want we want
produce.
to make some test on the field with some
Okay, let's read some comments. Thank you for your question, Pleb. Thank you, Joe Pasqua. Grazie. I from Romania. First of all, thanks for this nice project. Any benefits for the new Z-axis motor except for the availability that is worth upgrading? I would say no. Se c'è un qualcosa di meglio.
Yes, we gain some Z-axis
the length of the excursion
yes
is a centimeter.
Yes, 10
more.
millimeters or more. So
Yes.
you can use shorter
Bits.
shorter bits that we use normally we use try face.
Sorry, face. Okay.
Normally we use this kind of bit, 3 cutting edge bit that are short, very short. So with the old machine head Z motor, that imply the chuck the chuck to
The spring to collect to
the collect spring to lock clamp the bit not in the right manner. With the gain in the Z-axis excursion, you can mount this kind of bit
a bit higher.
a bit higher in the chuck, obtaining something like more rigidity, and you can maybe aumentare la velocità.
Increase the speed of machining.
Yes, okay, the speeding of machining. Yes.
Okay, but always keeping in mind that we are going to test it.
Yes. It's a beta.
It's a beta.
It's a beta release of the project. Ciao.
Ciao. Yeah, I've been watching this device for more than a year. It looks like it would be fun to build. We hope so. But it seems like some of the parts are hard to obtain. And our effort was toward this. And it was not easy. That motor, because the Z-axis motor, this motor that before that you know, I think many of you know. Is a good motor. Is a good motor because it's very small, is very light, and has a nice torque.
Yes.
And this is really important because being lightweight and ensures that you don't have weight on the head and you have less inertia. And you have to have also the right torque to be able to doing your machining properly. So you have this motor is capable of pushing 700 grams, and it was more than sufficient with respect to its weight, and also is small. It doesn't waste any area, because if you put a larger motor, if you place a larger motor there, you waste working area. So it was all a matter of compromises, and this is a solution that we struggle to achieve, but in the end it seems that that is functional.
So to
summarize, let's see if there is any
chiedono
other.
perché c'è troppo casino, fa il seems to some part is up to yeah is a quieter spindle. Quieter spindle. Some noise should be reduced by a correct lubrication of the spindle bearings and the spindle motor bearings. The spindle bearings. It's a good technique to reduce the noise of the spindle itself. We use in case we want to make some work in a particular context. We use
It's a bit difficult to take out.
This kind of object. This kind of object is a box, plexiglass box. Is very useful to containing the noise, and oltre questo usiamo la gomma piuma.
Yes, and we use these. I don't know how to call them effectively. These soft foam.
Yes,
layers because if you place the machine straightly on the wooden board, it's not a problem for the machine itself, but there is a bit of noise for vibration on the wood. Instead, placing foam
layer.
It's attenuating, especially if you, like me, live with neighbors that are quite strict about this. It's important.
iPhone
Texas.
Ci ha detto fumo.
Yes, thank you.
This is our solution to make the spindle noise.
Yes, let's read another question. How did you get started in 3D printing, and how is your relation to RepRap? Happy to see you continue work on this project. Best regards from the Faroe Island. That's quite a nice place. Okay. How did we get started to 3D printing? We get started in 2015, I guess. We went to Rome Maker Fair.
Yes.
We already knew that something, and we went there, and we saw a bit the status that was in that year. And it was interesting, but still not developed as it is now. And ciao Franco, going out from this Maker Fair, we realized that it was there that idea of the Ant CNC machine was born. We realized that we wanted something that was not there, that was a CNC machine to make our PCB at home, not paying thousands of dollars. That was the start of idea, the start of discussion between us, and the 3D printing was something that we knew there. We had some contacts with RepRap, meaning that we read a bit the forum, but since we work quite a lot, we don't have usually we didn't engage so much in the community. As you know, it's not.
We think that 3D printing is a technique that allow makers to make something easier. A lot of people use 3D printing to print such unuseful stuff, or
But,
for
let's say, okay, the first time we saw 3D printing at that fair, one thing that struck us, it was that many things that were built were little statues and other objects that are not really functional, or were not really functional, are aesthetic objects. And nowadays, after 2-3 years, already in 2018, we saw the change. The quality of the printing improved.
yeah.
And at the same time, people started making things with Thingiverse, with MyMiniBot, with all these site sharing things, and they started doing things that were not just aesthetic objects or fun objects, but also functional for the project. And he became really engaged with 3D printing. We had this idea, and the 3D printer is still a way to prototype all our ideas.
Yeah, because for example, the Ant is more or less printed in a PLA, so a plastic plastic material that have not so strong mechanical feature, but thinking about the material, taking account the material properties, and with a thinking about the mechanical design, we can accommodate the functionality of the machine to our need.
I just wanted to show you
The last
the last batch of test that
last month.
and it's not the only one.
No.
So these are all trials that were useful to get to pass from the first prototype to the second, to some failures, to the actual and beyond.
The 3D technique, the 3D manufacturing technique, very interesting for prototyping, and is quite similar to the Ant. Is a nice solution for the PCB prototyping. We know that, and we know that in the market
There are PCB manufacturers.
yeah, there are a lot of PCB manufacturers that make this kind of board for a couple of bucks. But nowadays the shipping time nowadays the shipping time are too long for a correct prototyping developing phase of electronic project.
Unless you pay upfront the
If you
expedition,
have
but there is another question. New Z motor model is bomb list. As we were saying, this modification, all of these modifications, especially the Z-axis motor, is and also the new electronic, but let's focus on the Z-axis motor, is still under test. So we want to have a good degree of confidence before releasing the parts. Maybe we can do a beta release.
Yeah, on a beta release, in which you can put all the mechanical
We can list the
design
parts.
draw and the electromechanical parts.
Okay. We need a bit of time because we were really thinking and assembling the different things, and we were at Maker Faire. Also, if it was online, it needed a bit of preparation, and now after this event, we had all the setup prepared, and we need a bit of time to order things and to test properly. That is an important phase.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks to you for the question. Yeah, if you want to talk about any other aspect, if you want to share something, let us know. Thank you for your answer. Interesting. Okay. Ok, Peter. Ciao Stefano. Ok, ciao Mark. That is always following us. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mark.
We hope so. And yes, so there is still a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have other ideas, other project for 2021, and after the test phase,
And the release phase.
and the release phase, we maybe consider this version of the machine
A stable version.
Like a long-term support version.
Like the operating system. Yeah.
Yes, and we want to support the project and think about the electronics, and we want to move also to move
To do something else that
Yes.
it could be also quite near or
Thank
far
you,
away.
Joe.
Thank you to Joe. We appreciate the gift, and buonasera. I'm from Tunisia. Ciao. There is another question that is a question that actually is quite asked.
Yeah.
That is okay. There are two questions that are quite asked. Okay, is the Ant PCB machine open source?
It is an open project, not
Okay.
fully open source. Our idea is that the Ant must be free. The project of the Ant must be free for people, for
Makers, for
Makers,
anybody who wants to
university,
build
school,
it.
small laboratories, and so on. But we think that is correct if you want to sell the machine, sell the kit, sell a part of the kit of our project, to contact us to discuss about to talk about a small
Release fee, I don't
say
know how
release
to
fee.
call it.
Okay, but the project is fully open for everybody who want to build it and use it for the job, for the school, for make
So if you are an enterprise and build your own machine and do your PCB,
For us, it's okay.
It's totally free. You can do it.
You can modify the project.
Modify the project
with the seamless license that we use to share the project, and many people.
You know that many of you are from Reddit. You know from the Reddit subreddit. I don't know that we are open about this. There are other questions. Thank you, Stefano. Grazie, Gio Pasqua again. Okay, another question was what's the minimum trace width that the ant can make? Okay. So, you have it.
A couple of examples how the maybe we can.
It's difficult to focus.
Also, maybe. Okay. This is Arcobaleno board and our project.
The chip that is at the center there is a LQFP. I don't remember if it's 64 or, but it's a sock that has the space interpad space,
spacing.
right? Sorry, of 0.2 millimeters.
Yes.
And this means that we were able to mill a PCB with that interpad space, intertrace space. So this is a good test of the results the machine can achieve. It's not easy. I don't know how to say, but we can show also this was like the second or third iteration. This is another one that is the one we used for the oven logic board, and there is another package there that is UQFN48. You can, I don't know if you can indicate it. That is on the other side. Okay, this one, and also this has a track interpad space that is the most trickiest, the trickiest thing for the process of milling a PCB, and I think it's 0.2 also.
Yes.
So this is the with bits of 0.1 millimeter V bits, the Chinese one that most of you know. That is the best we achieved so far. Okay, and it's quite repeatable. For example, we show you the one of the iteration for making Arcobaleno, and this one was
hard to make a focus.
Yeah, sorry. It's difficult to focus, but this was one of the iteration. The milling was quite nice, was perfect, but we made a design error. We we add a connector to near to another
to close to another connector.
So we had to remill the boards, but the process for milling was not bad. It was repeatable. So let's move on to another question. Thank you, Stefano. Darius, are the elements of the x-axis? Are the elements of the x-axis still divided into 3 parts? Two parts. These are the parts where the x-axis linear bearings are. Okay. I think he's talking about.
Which part? X-axis, linear bearing? Okay. It's still is still divided in 2 parts. Yes.
It's the same structure.
Same. You for this modification.
If you have
not even a face.
Okay. sorry. If you have the old Ant, the
If you want-
2019 version of the Ant, and want to switch to the 2020 this version,
you must to reprint just three pieces. The cap that is easy. Yes, the cap, the higher part of the carriage of the carriage and the head. So the tricky part is to reinsert the linear bearing in the head, but the substitution is very easy for the other parts.
you don't have to take away all the carriage for substitute the motor.
No.
It was this is the modification. I have to ask. Mark says, what happened to the oven caps? Lock off now. Oven caps.
What do you mean, Mark, with the oven cups? With oven cups?
Sorry.
Sorry.
There is another question in Italian. The question is, sorry, just translate it for anyone. For who wants to buy the components for a university or a fab lab or anything similar. Do you have any suggestion where to
find all the pieces? AliExpress, Amazon, MakerBeam, and Robodig. This is the four supplier that we use to found all the pieces related to this machine. We know that pieces is
the parts
are very difficult to find because for example in AliExpress change
the link change. If you are from a country is different than if you are from another country or continent. So we know that it's not easy, and that is one reason why we wanted a partnership, a good partnership with someone with logistic capabilities that could help us achieve something like a kit. And it was something that we tried, but up to now we didn't succeed. So I hope that we answered that question. The Z motor is an MI8, exactly an MI8, but with anti-backlash. Another part that is this anti-backlash. I don't remember the name. It's not exactly a screw. It's something. It's a more complex piece, but these two elements seem to work. We still have to test them fully and properly.
In the university, we're gonna get a SMD part, where you get Farnell, RS Online, and
there are many suppliers. There are many services also that offer to build your PCB with mounting. And they provide to find the parts for you. And the trick is always to make a design and a review of your parts. After you finish your design, you review the part and try to optimize it. And there are many videos, many sources and many videos on YouTube that explain well how to optimize what to look for, and it's something that we usually do together, and it's important. We could name many suppliers, and apart from this, also the process to try to save first of all money, and also to have something easy to how to say, to make build, to make supply to. If you need just one, it's not important, but if you need 10 PCBs, 10 if you optimize your BOM, your cost dramatically scale down.
Yeah.
So he named Farnell, Arrow, Mauser, BGK, rest
so
online.
on.
We have many.
Mark chiedevo solamente del Mark ask about the Owen. Okay, the Owen project. The Owen project is interesting. Come si dice, fallimento?
Is an interesting failure.
Yes, it's an interesting failure because we start think about the Owen and some 1 year ago, I think, I if I remember correct, and we look in internet with Google for some affordable solution, and we see a lot of maker that
modify normal ovens to make it reflow oven, and we also engaged in this. We say we thought
it's a correct way.
It's a nice way. Why not? Let's bring something to it. Let's do something. Let's try. And that was a way to make the reflow oven, and so have another piece of this kind of production line for PCBs at home. And at the same time, we were able to make boards and to test our machine with it. Sorry. But it was an interesting failure because we realized that
working on
I have to.
Yes.
Sorry, we have a lot of things.
A lot of things in our lab. Okay. This is the
oven we were talking for.
The one that we were talking. We think that approach the problem starting from a cheap oven is not the right way, because maybe the oven is very cheap. We pay this oven $25.
25 bucks, more or less.
Yes, it's very cheap because it's used, because
is
very
it's not the most expensive thing. If you think about there is a thermal chamber, and there is some simple power electronics with a mechanical timer,
electromechanical timer, or a thermocouple. So the base, this oven is a affordable base for the project. But the very difficult task is to insulate the chamber. The chamber is very, very big for the purpose of soldering, and you
and many dispersion.
Yes, you have this chamber has many very
high gradients
in temperature,
dispersion of air,
a lot of leak in temperature, and so it's hard to coibent
to thermally insulate.
Thermal insulate the wall chamber. Is hard to make mechanical
rivets. No,
lavorazioni.
The mechanical work needed for insulate the oven, is not an easy task, and that is needed. The insulation is needed because if you want to properly follow a profile of temperature to solder, you need to have this kind of insulation, because the leaking and also the gradients lower the quality of your
compromise the quality of the soldering. You must have a chamber like a adiabatic chamber that permits to have a constant temperature in the wall chamber, because you have just one point of sensing and the temperature sensing, and just one source of heat.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very difficult to uniform the temperature inside the chamber. So as you maybe someone of you guessed, because in the chat, the solution is to use a smaller chamber, very small chamber that permit to control the temperature in an easy way. There are on the market from AliExpress some aluminum boxes, very small boxes that are for us the right starting point to make a solder oven, and in abbinamento with coupled with IR infrared lamps. I want high power infrared lamps.
That is something that we thought about. This project made us thought about this kind of evolution that we think that would be nice to have for solder SMD. That is, as you may know, quite tedious. Yeah, that was, but it was a nice failure. Also, if it's a failure.
Mark is back now. This answer is for Mark.
We hope if we answered your question, Mark, you can go a bit back and about the oven, the project of the oven.
Yes, because another aspect of this oven is about the electronic. The electronics is quite easy to create to design, because is a dimmer. It's composed by final face.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's composed by high voltage dimmer that is composed from that imply a triac, just a triac, a couple of opto-insulator and a diode bridge, and nothing more for the high voltage part. And the controller is a simple controller, just a microcontroller that implements a firmware with a PID and some useful stuff to ancillary stuff to read the file. So we decided to implement the firmware in MicroPython, for example, and the firmware is very small and very easy to design. and just one OLED and encoder, 2 buttons. So the electronic part, the electronic design is easy, and this this controller is can be used for control temperature for any kind of oven that have power below 800 watt. So the electronic part, the firmware, is the easy part. But the chamber, the installation of the chamber, the mechanical
tinkering, the mechanical work that is needed is not a task for everyone. For example, you need rivets, you need a bit of manuality to achieve it. Yeah, so maybe it's easier and cheaper to start from a fresh starting point and try to do something from there. Yeah, that is just thoughts up to now. Hello from Spain. Hello. Let's see if there is any other question. Are all the parts printable without supports? Grazie, Dani.
The part is printable with support, but all the file that we provide in our repository, the positioning of the part in this file is pensata per
studied
to get better result in rigidity and in printability. So our suggestion is to print the part like we provide you.
Okay, Cosimo asked, is it better with the NEMA or the older motor version? We will discover it. Yes. Maybe we have some hints. But yeah, it's better if we answer that question after a bit of testing.
A bit of test, yes.
Because also if we use this kind of structure to, this kind of structure to do preliminary test, one thing is to test without a mechanical load or with a different mechanical load, and another thing is to test on the machine, where there is there could be forces that are not just applied in this axis, but also in other ways through the dragging and so the answer is could be given only by test.
Yes, because I want to show you. Yeah. This is not the first motor that we test for the purpose of moving the z-axis. This is the last set of motor that we buy to just the last to make a new z-axis. This is a set of the motor that we buy.
We bought these motors.
Yes. We bought this motor, yes. And we test all the motor in torque, speed, and repeatability and gioco, come si dice, backlash yes. Capability and so on. And we test a lot of NEMA 8 and NEMA 11 version of però hai spostato? No,
sorry. Maybe you didn't see all the
motor that we are test.
We did test or try to. Sorry.
This is all the motor that with S.
And we know that other people tried or are trying different things. We saw it, and yeah, we understand the issues there. Yeah, Joko play. Thank you, Cosimo. And yeah, let's see if there is any other question. Yes, there are. Okay, Nikre was asking about user smaller chamber. Maybe yeah, that
Yes.
is our idea. Is that an SSD relay? You mean this one, right?
Is not a solid state relay, but is a triac. The solid state relay is quite similar to the triac. To the triac, yes, triac. But
Transmission, yeah. Sorry.
oh, ok.
Please
È
follow
stato un
us.
po'. No, adesso c'è tutto nero.
Do you hear us?
No. Perché è saltato?
Non lo so.
No, ok, aspetta. Ok.
Okay,
We're back
sorry,
online.
there was a bit of an issue on the line. We don't have a perfect line. Sorry.
Yes, Christian, like a MOSFET, MOSFET for the IC. Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah. Do you hear us? Is everything okay? Let's see if there is any other questions or comment. What is motor RPM and specs? You were asking before what are the specs?
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. The line here is an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, but
Okay. Now the stream should improve in a few moments. We know.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Very good. So, what were we talking about?
MOSFET.
Yeah, the
Okay, and
MOSFET.
yeah.
Let's go back a bit.
No, okay. Problem with the transmissions.
Christian got it. It's
Thank you.
MOSFET for IC. Yeah, the line is.
Okay, so.
Let's. Okay, so this is our updates. These are our updates, and
Maybe.
our answer to.
Yeah, if this solution of live is useful for you, maybe we think to repeat
We could
the
repeat it
Yes.
and talk about interesting stuff related to the project, but also other things of electronics.
Mark 0. Controllo.